I am continuing my reading, and what I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I'm reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around just a little bit as I move along. I have just recently been reading the first 9 chapters in Proverbs, and I am now returning to the histories recorded in 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles. This will be 1 Kings chapter 5. So far, what we have read before we go, Solomon has begun praying to the Lord. The Lord has appeared to him, blessed him with wisdom as well as riches and honor, and we've had a few examples of his wisdom and a tally of the blessings of Israel during his early reign anyways. So, chapter 5. Solomon solicits and gains Hiram's help in getting timber to build the temple. Israelites hew stones and cut timbers for the temple. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father. For Hiram was ever a lover of David. Now, briefly the term, he was a lover of David. That does not mean romantic sexual love. No, this is as it says in the footnote, the Hebrew term here expresses the affection held by one friend for another. It is the deep friendship of two men. It is not romantic in any way. Verse 2. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build an house unto the name of the Lord his God, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Lord put them under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurrent. And behold, I purpose to build an house unto the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build an house unto my name. Now therefore command thou that they hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants, and unto thee will I give hire for thy servants, according to all that thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us any that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. That can skill, I mean, who know how to hew timber, in other words, to shape the wood. This isn't just cutting down a tree. Anybody can cut down a tree. But this is shaping the wood to proper form and size. Well, Hiram sends his regards to Solomon. Solomon was made king, and David saying, okay. And Hiram is saying, David was a great friend of mine. I'm going to honor his son. In response, Solomon is requesting he's requesting Hiram's help, but he's saying, I will pay your servant, well, I will pay you for the use of your servants. That's what he's saying. Verse 7. And it came to pass, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly, and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, which hath given unto David a wise son over this great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest to me for, and I will do all thy desire concerning timber of cedar, and concerning timber of fir. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon unto the sea, and I will convey them by sea in floats unto the place that thou shalt appoint me, and will cause them to be discharged there, and thou shalt receive them. And thou shalt accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two had a league together. So, just like with David, Hiram is making a treaty with Solomon. And I liked it. I liked his response. He hears the message from Solomon, and his first response is to rejoice that David, his good friend, has a good and wise son to take over the management of the kingdom. This is a great blessing. And he says, no problem. I'll give you whatever you need. Now, when it says floats, They're going to cut down the trees and bring them down to the Mediterranean Sea and basically lash the wood together into giant rafts and push them down the coastline to where Solomon needs them, where they will be picked up by Solomon's servants and brought to the temple. That is what he's describing. And as payment, as he said, he's going to pay for the servants. 20,000 measures of wheat and 20 measures of pure oil. That was the wages of the servants. Anyways, let us continue. Verse 13. And King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home. And Adoniram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,010 that bare burdens, and 80,000 hewers in the mountains, beside the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300, which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they brought great stones, costly stones, and hewed stones, to lay the foundations of the house. And Solomon's builders and Hiram's builders did hew them, and the stone squarers. So they prepared timber and stones to build the house. In the footnote here on stone square, this says the Hebrew word is givlim, or giblite, meaning inhabitants of Gibel. But a stone square would have been those who shaped the stones into actual blocks. So we got stones, we got hewed stones, and we got precious stones. So they're all, the gems, the worked stone, and just the quarried stone. And this is the arrangement. Now, again, we got the numbers might be a little exaggerated here. But, 10,000 men working to cut the timbers each month. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that works out. But it was obviously a very large-scale building project. And he was working at it, and we will see, for 7 years. So maybe he had that many people. But this is also, he put this levy, and this was a tax. But rather than a tax of money, it was a tax of labor. And so we see that Solomon is, and I'll say, I don't think the people were all that upset with this because they were building a temple. But we do see that Solomon does not hesitate to levy the people for money, goods, services. It says Adoniram, however you pronounce the name, was over the levy. So he oversaw these workers. But there's a footnote attached to his name going back to 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 6, 12, and 18. So it says, and Ahishur was over the house, and Adoniram, the son of Abda, was over the tribute. So the tribute, that's the taxes generally from other foreign nations. But when he starts levying this labor from the people of Israel, he treats it like a tribute and puts Adoniram overseeing this levy. So it's treated like it is a tribute. Again, this doesn't present the best image, I think, when you are in essence telling Israel that they have to pay tribute to you. Tribute is paid by a vassal state, a state that you have conquered and control. It's not something, it's kind of like, it would be like in the modern day, the United States, the federal government putting a tariff on the states. I mean, tariffs are something you put on we have with foreign countries. You don't put a tariff on your own people. It's kind of the same idea. Is that why would you be doing this? It's a bad look, is all I'm saying. But my next reading will be in 2 Chronicles, I do believe. Then we will return back to Kings. So, see you then.